Hi all, very good morning. How are you, friends? So, before proceeding with further, please let me know, is it my voice is clearly audible, ma? Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Naveen, good morning. Sandeep, good morning. Ishwarika, good morning. Damini, good morning. Venkatesh, yes, sir. Good morning. Okay, audible. Bilash, good morning. Anshul, good morning. Good morning to Alma. So just today, I am trying to using the background posture. Is it visible that background posture? Just hold a second. I will put you all under unmute mode. Yes. Now you can tell at least one person. Is it background is appearing to
Yes,
all?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So actually, I'm not using any green mat or other things. If at any point of time the picture will create any disturbance, please let me know. I will change my mode. I will not use any background. Just I tried for today only. So let me check how it will works. Okay. Right. Without wasting much time, let me start the discussion. Sir, we completed session number 2, right? We completed session number 2. Now let me go to session number 2 where we stopped exactly. So from there I am starting. So a quick recap till now what we have discussed in session number 2. So just me check where I stopped. Yes, this is intro session number 2. I discussed the concept of conservatism. So, conservatism means anticipate all future possible expenses and losses, but we will not give any significance to future incomes and gains which can be estimatable. So, in accounting, we are not only recording the historical transactions. So, if there is any high probability to occur any known expenses or losses, we will record. For such expenses and losses, we will create provision based on the conservatism concept. So where I discussed two concepts, provision for bad debts and provision for warranties. At the time of creation of provision, the journal entry is profit and loss account at
Loss account data
provision.
to PB.
Exactly. Sir, then after creation of provision, in the next year, we will check the exact expense, how much incurred. At that point of time, that specific expenditure should not be transferred to P&L. That specific expenditure should be set off with the already created provision. Then we will check remaining how much provision we have. That is in our example 2000. Again, we will estimate how much provision required. So let us assume which was 8000. Then in the current year, how much more I have to create Sarante, which is 6000 by passing the entry P&L to provision. Like that, each and every year, the provision concept is applied by the management. Next, we discussed the difference between provision and reserve. Sir, provision, as you know, which was created for probable losses or expenses, but reserve was created for unknown things. Okay, to safeguard any uncertainties happen in future, or maybe for the purpose of expansion, anything we don't know. Sir, provision is charge against profits, but a reserve is appropriation of profits. What is the difference between charge against? Irrespective of the fact whether you are getting profits or losses, we can create a provision. But coming to the reserve concept, we can only create if we are getting profits. That's why provision is a above the line item, reserve is a below the line item. It will be created in P&L. It will be created in P&L appropriation. Hope you understand. Coming to types of reserves. Reserves are two types. One is free reserve, another one is restricted reserve. One is free reserve, another one is restricted reserve. What is the meaning of free reserve? Those reserves which are freely available for distribution of dividend are technically known as free reserves. That means take any reserve which is freely available for distribution of dividend, then I can take it as a free reserve. All other reserves which are not freely available for distribution of dividends, such reserves are technically known as restricted reserves. Example, statutory reserve, debenture redemption reserve, revaluation reserve. Certain particular time, capital reserve may also act as restricted reserve. Then we entered into the syllabus of paper 1 of accounting, consisting of 120 marks, consisting of 6 questions. Out of this question number 1 compulsory, we have to give 4 questions for the remaining out of 5 questions. Then we are in the process of discussing the blueprint. So the entire blueprint was given for 85% to 125%. We divided into 4 categories. Category number 1, framework for preparation of financial statements. So yesterday I already completed the intro, basic intro, that is the rules and regulations to be followed at the time of preparation of financials, which is a pure theoretical topic. We can expect a 4 marks question, that is 5 marks. Sorry, for the last Roman number, we can expect a 5 marks question, maybe if question asked from the topic. Then introduction and applicability of accounting standards, where I spent much more time explaining what is the meaning of accounting policy, what is the meaning of accounting principle, what is the meaning of accounting standard. Sir, what is the meaning of accounting policy? Where we explained accounting policy is an accounting principle and methods adopting to follow such accounting principle in preparation and presentation of financial statements. That means in that box, if it is an accounting principle, a small box is an accounting principle, and methods to be followed to follow such accounting principles are also treated as an accounting policy. So that's why we give some conclusions. Every accounting principle is an accounting policy, but each and every accounting policy may not be a principle. Why? Because if it is covered only as a method, then it is only an accounting policy, but not an accounting principle. Principle may not change from entity to entity, but methods may change from one entity to entity. So here we discussed a beautiful example related to inventory. So the basic principle related to inventory, at which value it should be recorded in books of accounts are cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower, which is an accounting principle as well as accounting policy. But how can we identify the quantum of the stock we had in our godown surrender? That is depending upon which method you are using. You can identify the quantum by following the FIFO method, either by following the LIFO method, or by following the simple average or weighted average. That's why various methods are possible to identify such closing stock, which are only pure methods but not a principle. Now you can understand, or you can easily differentiate the difference between principle and a method, or principle and policy. A policy may change from one person to another person, but principle in generally doesn't change. I have one more doubt, friends. I have one more doubt. Sir, we understand policy may change from one entity to another entity. Is it policy may change from one year to another year? That is one accounting period to another accounting period. Is it possible? Can you please tell me, anyone? Start firing your guns, friends. Where are your guns? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Some persons. Yes, sir, if required. Yes, sir, maybe. Oh, that means accounting policy may also change from time to time. You are telling? No, no, that's not correct. Sir, there is one concept called, just hold a second. There is one concept called consistency. Consistency. As per the concept of consistency, accounting policies used by an entity should be followed consistently from time to time. Sir, what you are telling? If my entity adopted FIFO method for the purpose of identification of the closing stock in the current year, can I follow the FIFO method for the next year? For all the future years, I have to follow the FIFO method only. You are trying to telling that part? Yes, absolutely. Sir, consistency concept clearly tells to us accounting policy adopted by an entity should be followed consistently from time to time. But in three circumstances, you may change an accounting policy. Generally, you should not change. You should not change. But in three circumstances, which are nothing but exceptions to consistency, which are nothing but exceptions to consistency. What are those exceptions, sir? In three circumstances, you may change one accounting policy to another accounting policy. What are those exceptions, sir? And a first exception, if any accounting standard prescribes. If any accounting standard prescribes means, sir, AS2 clearly told that, for example, AS2 clearly told that from now onwards, you have to follow only weighted average method. Then I should change from FIFO to weighted average. Okay. If any statute prescribed, statute, law, company law, sir, company law right now amended. Let us assume you have to follow to that policy. You have to follow that accounting policy only. If it prescribed like that, then I should not follow any other accounting policy except policy prescribed by the statute. At that point of time, you can change your accounting policy. And the last circumstance was, which was third, which was circumstance number 3. The last circumstance is for better presentation. For better presentation of financial statements. If you thought that if you follow this accounting policy, then financial statements may show true and fair view. Sir, earlier I am following X as an accounting policy, but right now I want to convert it to Y. If I follow Y as my accounting policy, then I thought that better presentation of financials is possible. Then you can follow Y accounting policy. At that point of time, I can change my accounting policy. Okay. Just can you please tell me, friends, did you understand till now what I have discussed that is related to the revision part? Can I go to the further? No, no one is talking.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, right. Just I'm asking, ma. Most of the persons you are residing at your home only, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So there are no connectivity issues at home and there are no power issues at your home, right?
Yes, sometimes.
Yes, sir.
No issue.
No issues are there. Okay. Sometimes if any issues are there, then if at any time, if you missed out any part of the session, so we are having one plan that session, that is session happened in today, we are uploading in our application as well. Okay. So you can watch it, I think so, for today or tomorrow, like that. It will not be visible for a long time. Maybe it will be visible for 24 hours like that. After that, it will be automatically expired. At any point of time, if you lose any class, so you can utilize all such things. Okay. Next. further. Right. Let me continue. Let me continue the flow where we stopped exactly. So then, sir, you discussed an accounting policy and accounting principle. Then I started discussing accounting standards as well. Accounting standards. If you observe here, we discussed accounting standards. Sir, why standards introduced, sir? To avoid various accounting policies and for the purpose of standardization of an accounting policies. That is to follow uniform accounting policies. That is the first and foremost objective. Next, comparison in between financials of two different entities is possible if such two entities will follow the standardized practices. For that purpose, also accounting standards introduced. Then we saw the definition of accounting standards. Then we saw the definition of accounting standards. Can you please tell me, friends, what is the definition of accounting standard? Accounting standards are written policy documents. These are written by somebody. Sir, issued by whom, sir? Issued by
ICA.
Accounting Standard Board of ICA.
Board of ICA.
Correct. Covering
Board
the aspects of recognition,
Recognition,
Measurement,
measurement,
presentation, disclosure.
disclosures. Correct. Sir, for recognition, I gave example of AS9 revenue recognition. For measurement, I gave example of AS2. For presentation, I gave example of AS3 cash flow statement. For disclosure, I gave example of AS1 disclosure of accounting policies. Then, before discussing all such things in detail, so let me go to the titles of the standards. Titles of the standards. These no need to by heart. Automatically you will be remembered once all such standards over in your syllabus. Okay, most of the times we are telling about the title of the standard, it will be automatically remembering in your mind. So AS1 stands for disclosure of accounting policies. Sir, disclosure of accounting policies means just now we saw organization may use different accounting policies in different areas. For all such accounting policies should be disclosed at a single place as per AS1. That is the objective of introduction of AS1. If you disclose all such accounting policies at a single place, then user of the financial statements may check such accounting policies. Accordingly, he can understand the financials. That means, for example, if you are not mentioning, sir, for the purpose of valuation of closing stock, I used a FIFO method. If you mention like that, he will consider that part and he will take a right decision. So that's why all the accounting policies should be disclosed at a single place as per AS1. AS2 valuation of inventory, the main objective is at which value such inventory should be presented in financial statements. Can you please tell me closing stock in which areas we are showing in financials? Can we show closing stock in P&L? Can we show closing stock in P&L?
No, sir.
No.
No, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir.
Sir, in trading account under credit side, before knowing the gross profit, you are recording closing stock under credit side, right?
Debit, sir.
Debit side. That means I am not differentiating anything in between trading and P&L. If I am using P&L, it includes trading account also. So let me take that part also. Just I have few doubts. So let me complete that as well. Maybe to get the better clarity. So most of the times you are seeing trading account, right? Trading account like this, right? Okay. So like this, you may see the trading account. So which is, let me put session number 3, right? Session number 3. What is the today date, pa? 12 to 20, 21. No. Yes, trading account. Can you please tell me, friends? In trading account, we are starting with opening stock, correct? Tell me, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Then we will record purchases.
Purchases.
Under
Net
credit
purchase.
side, we will record
Sales.
sales.
Closing stock.
Closing stock.
Closing stock.
Gross profit.
If any direct expenses are there, then we will record the direct expenses as well. Then we will get a
Gross profit.
as a balancing figure. Yes. Now, my first and foremost doubt, why I have to show closing stock? Why I have to show closing stock under credit side? Did you have the doubt? Tell me, friends.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
most of the times, my conceptual approach will start with why. If you know the answer for why, then you can search answer for how. Without knowing the why, there is no use to discuss how. Can you please give anyone clarification why we can record closing stock under credit side? What will happen if closing stock not recorded in trading account?
Sir, next year it again opening stock, no sir.
What will happen? I don't want to record opening stock also. What will happen? That means for the next year opening stock, if you want to record the current year, you have to record closing stock under a credit side. For that reason, you are recording.
For correct gross profit, we should.
That means if I'm not considered the closing stock, correct profit will not get.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
How?
sir.
How? How you can convince me?
Sir, it is assumed to all stock and purchase sales only, no sir. If closing stock not there.
Okay, just concentrate. For example, in the current year, let us assume there is no opening stock. Let us assume there is no opening stock. This is the first year we started the business. Let us assume. Sir, how many number of units goods you purchased, sir? Sir, I purchased 1,000 units. I purchased 1,000 units. How many number of units you sold out, sir? I sold out, let us assume, 800 units. Sir, on the left hand side, you covered expenditure for 1,000 units, but on the right hand side, you covered income only for 800 units. Comparison should be always in between comparable events, then only you will get the correct profits. If you compare 1,000 units expense with 800 unit income, how can you get the correct profit? You told to get the correct profit. But right now I am proving, sir, if you are taking 1,000 units expenditure with 800 units income, then you are not getting the correct profit. That's why I should consider the remaining 200 units only for the purpose of knowing the correct profit. Will you agree?
Yes, sir.
That's why closing stock we are considered in trading account. Unless otherwise, no need. Sir, if entire units were sold out, then we consider expenditure for 1,000 units income as well as for 1,000 units. At that point of time, there is no necessity to record such closing stock in the trading account, friends. Hope you understand why closing stock we are recording in trading account. One more thing here I am telling. One more thing I am telling. So many times abnormal loss will come, right? Abnormal loss means concentrate. Abnormal loss means I'm talking in number of units. I'm talking in the sense of number of units. Friends, somebody is under unmute. Please put yourself under mute. Just some beep sound is coming. Okay. Coming to abnormal loss. If you see here, out of 1,000 units, let us assume 50 units lost due to theft or lost due to fire accident. Anything may happen. Now, in closing stock, how much worth of goods you had? In closing stock, how much worth of goods you had?
150.
150 units. Exactly. In closing stock, you had 150 units. Then I have to recognize abnormal loss as well. Abnormal loss as well, which was abnormal loss for remaining 50 units. That's why you are recording in trading account itself such a abnormal loss to know the correct gross profit. Will you agree? Now check it here, friends. Here 1,000 units. 800 units sold out, 150 units in closing stock, 50 units abnormal loss. Now you can get the correct gross profit. Now my question is, still now, did you recorded the abnormal loss? Now I am asking one question. Till now, did you recorded the accounting treatment for abnormal loss? No, you
No,
are
sir.
not provided the accounting treatment for abnormal loss. Just to satisfy or to know the gross profit, just you cope up that you fulfilled with abnormal loss. That's it. What is the accounting treatment for abnormal loss, sir? Now here, by abnormal loss means first you recorded this entry, abnormal loss to trading account. This is first to know the correct gross profit you recorded. What is the accounting treatment for that abnormal loss, friends? Ante such abnormal loss should be charged to profit and loss account. What is the journal entry? Profit and loss
P&L
account
account
data
refers to abnormal.
to abnormal loss. To abnormal loss. Then if you go to the P&L, in such P&L, I will transfer such abnormal loss.
Loss to be borne by trade.
Correct. Now hope you understand the correct accounting treatment of closing stock and abnormal loss, why we are recording in trading account. And one more thing, I'm asking one more question. Closing stock will be recorded in trading account as well as it will be recorded in
Balance sheet.
correct. Will be recorded in balance sheet. So now, whether you want to record either in trading account or in balance sheet, at which value you are going to record? At which value you are going to record? That
Market value which is
that all stuff will be discussed by AS2. That all stuff will be discussed by AS2. That is the objective or reason for introduction of accounting standard 2. Is it okay, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me go with AS3, cash flow statement. Cash flow statement. Sir, I don't want to discuss anything. A detailed discussion is there at the time of discussing cash flow statement chapter. A separate chapter is there na cash flow statement. A detailed discussion will be given by me. No worries. For the time being, you can ignore. Coming to property, plant and equipment. Property, plant and equipment. So let me discuss few points about AS10. Let me discuss very few points. Do you know the title of AS10 before insertion of PPE? The title of AS10 was fixed assets. Fixed assets.
Accounting standard syllabus re.
Arima, are you talking with me or are you talking with others, ma? Okay, leave it. So the title of AS10 right now changed from fixed assets to property, plant and equipment. Shortcut PPE. Earlier it was termed as fixed asset, but right now they are not at all using such word fixed assets. There is a reason. There is a reason. The reason is in global, some standards are there. Global standards. Global standards. In global, globe means not in India. Okay. Global standards. Another name for global standards are IFRS. IFRS full form is International Financial Reporting Standards. Financial Reporting Standards. So the exact name of the global standard is, global standards are IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. In international level, they are not using the word fixed assets. They are using the word PPE, property, plant and equipment. Our accounting standard board also thought that it is better to use as IFRS for AS10. For AS10, then they changed in the year 2016. Then they changed in the year 2016 fixed assets to property, plant, and equipment. We read our CA Inter or CA Final or CA Foundation on the assumption that the title of AS10 was fixed asset. But right now you are reading the title of AS10 will be property, plant, and
Plant and
equipment. Correct. Okay, that is the basic intro. Then why this standard was introduced, sir? Why this standard was introduced? You know, out of the assets, out of the total assets, major portion will be covered by PPE. Major portion. Building, plant, machinery, vehicles, all such stuff will be form part of the property, plant, and equipment. Such a property, plant, and equipment, at which value I have to record? At which value? At which value I have to record? At which value I have to record? Sir, which value means, can I record it historical cost? Can I record it historical cost? Or can I record it revalued figure? Revalued figure. Maybe you have doubt, right? For example, land value at the time of my grandfather is very cheap compared with current prices. Will you agree?
Yes, sir.
Then can I show the land at historical cost? If it was bought by my grandfather, sir, it is very cheap. Let us assume 50,000. But right now it may be 50 crore. At that point of time, I have to show better with revalued figure. Then whether it should be continued at revalued figure or whether it should be continued at historical cost, who will tell sir ante AS10, property, plant, and equipment. Then, sir, for certain property, plant, and equipment, can I provide depreciation or not? Who will tell? PPE. Sir, if I providing depreciation, which method I have to provide? Is it SLM? Is it WDV? Or is it any other method? Who will tell? AS10. Sir, when I have to start providing the depreciation, when I have to stop the depreciation, who will tell? AS10. Such all other aspects will be discussed by AS10, which is very big standard, and only there is one IFRS among all your standard. That IFRS is PPE, property, plant, and equipment. Is it okay? Hope you understand the basic crux of the AS10, why it was inserted. Tell me, yeah.
Sir.
Right. Then accounting for foreign currency transactions. Accounting for foreign currency transactions. Sir, I'm not telling any standard right now. I'm telling why it was inserted, why it is there in your syllabus. Don't think that, sir, standard over, sir. Sir, you are not telling anything about the standard, sir. I am not telling anything about the standard till now. Just I am providing a little bit of guidance why it was inserted. Before going to that standard itself, at least you should know something about the standard. So that part just I am trying right now. That's it. Now let me go with the accounting for foreign currency transactions. Okay. I will discuss like this related to AS7. For example, you are an exporter. You are an exporter. Let me take the example. Satya Raju is the owner of Satya Exports. Satya Exports. So I saw one Mahesh Babu movie where something like Surya Exports is there. Surya Tax, Surya Exports. What is that movie name? Businessman. Huh?
Businessman.
Businessman. Right now, everybody participating here. If I ask any question related to the subject, okay, nobody will participate. Right. So like that, like Surya Exports I started Satya Exports. Sir, what is my business activity, sir? Ante? So the finished goods which were manufactured in India, just I'm exporting to various countries. That is only my business. To various countries means, let us assume, sir, this is in India. So please assume whether it is India or not. Okay, this is in India. Maybe I'm exporting goods to USA. Actually, in globe, USA will be there under left hand side, but I'm putting under right hand side. Maybe UK, United Kingdom. So let me take the two examples. I am here. Where I'm in India. Now I'm exporting goods to USA as well as to UK. UK means
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom means England.
Britain.
That is what the case may be. Britain, right? Correct. Sir, here the currency will be there in pounds. You know, pounds. Those are known as pounds. In US, you know what is the currency name?
Dollars. Dollars.
Dollars. Correct. Now the problem is, I am selling the goods, right? I'm selling the goods, right? The other party, the party who was located in USA, at how much you are going, at how much price you are going to sell, then he should express such price in terms of dollars. Will you agree? Tell me, yeah. Other person is ready to pay only dollars, then I should express price of the product only in terms of dollar. Will you agree, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
now concentrate. Sir, how much that products are ante? Let us assume in India, 1 unit of that product is, let us assume, which was 1 lakh. Which was 1 lakh. Sir, at how much price you are going to sell, sir, ante? Then how I will check, sir, $1 is equal to how many rupees? I will check. Let us assume $1 is equal to 50 rupees. It is not 50, it is more than 50 actually. Right now it is coding. If you want, I can show it as well. Did you know anybody right now how much the dollar price is coding?
75.
75? Oh my God.
Some
72.79 like that is the right. Approximately 70 plus, correct. Okay, but I took only 50 rupees just for the purpose of understanding. Now, can you please tell me per unit price, how I can express in terms of dollars then? 1 lakh divided by
two
50 rupees. How much worth of dollars?
$2,000.
So then I told per unit $2,000. I can express like this, right? Okay, fine. Now, I have to pass one journal entry. Let us assume that sale happened on credit basis. The journal entry was that US party. Let us assume US party name. Let us assume who can take the US party name? Can you please tell me one party? Biden. We can take Biden, right?
Democratic Party.
Biden. Okay. Don't use Obama and all others. Biden. Let us take the new party name, Biden. I am making transaction with Biden. Joe Biden, right? Right now, the president of US.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, debtor, which was a credit sale means, now all of you concentrate by applying the accounting equation approach. Sir, increase in asset should be debited. That's why debtor account is an asset. Biden account debtor. Sales is an income. Increase in income should be credited to sales account. Biden account debtor to sales account. How much worth, sir? Ante, sir, I am an Indian. I will record entire accounting process in terms of rupees. Now 2000 into 50, which was 1 lakh. Will you agree, all of you? Tell me,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
After, sir, let us assume the credit period allowed to the other party was 3 months. 3 months. Let us assume 3 months. After 3 months, I am getting, or I will get $2,000 from Biden. Will you agree? After 3 months from Biden, I will get $2,000. Now, bank account data. Sir, after 3 months, let us assume $1 decrease to 45. Let us assume $1 decrease to 45. Sir, he will give only $2,000. He will not give 1 lakh rupee to me. He will give $2,000. Then I will get 2,000 into 45. How much? Can you please tell me? Then how much I will get? 2,000 into 45 means
90,000.
90,000.
80. Okay. So
90,000.
you are testing.
90.
You are testing me here. Okay. So which was 90,000. Okay. To Biden. Biden will not give any other single NP. That's why I'm crediting 1 lakh. Then only Biden account will close. What about the 10,000, sir? And 10,000 is it profit or
Loss.
loss?
Loss.
So that loss is transferred to foreign exchange loss. Foreign exchange loss. Such a foreign exchange loss later should be closed and transferred to P&L account by passing the entry P&L account debtor to forex loss. Sir, who told all such things, sir? Simply you are transferring to foreign exchange loss. That loss is again you are transferring to P&L. Who are telling all such things, sir? And AS11. That is the base concept why accounting standard 11 was introduced. If an entity is having cross currency transactions, cross currency means it may be import or export, at that point of time, how they can record such a transactions into their books of accounts. So AS11 provide guidance for such a transactions, how they have to follow the accounting treatment. Hope you understand basics of AS11 or the reason for introduction of AS11. Is it okay, friends?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me go with AS12. Let me go with AS12. All of you with me? Or are you doing breakfast? May I know? Some persons what they will do, that person mother will cook everything. Okay, by 8 o'clock or something, 8:30. If any of your father something go to office or any other work, they will cook. They will listen the class and they will eat also. Okay, so please concentrate. Your food will be there at your home only. After completion of the class, you can concentrate like anything on the food. Okay, so some persons I know, why? Because anyway they are not visible to me. They will do whatever they want. Okay, so please concentrate on the class. Can I go further to the next standard?
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Let me take up AS12 government grants. Government grants. AS12 GG. Shortcut is GG. GG stands for government grants. For example, to support a backward industry, or maybe backward areas, certain times government will provide some assistance. For example, sir, in our state itself, in our state means whether it may be Telangana or AP, there are certain places not at all in developed condition. Maybe these are completely underdevelopment. They are not at par. So at that point of time, either state government or central government may provide some assistance that if you start your business in that place, we will give some capital assistance to you. Some capital assistance. Capital assistance means, let us assume, to purchase a machinery, it will cost around 5 lakhs. But out of such 5 lakhs, I will provide 4 lakhs. Remaining 1 lakh you can incur out of your pocket. Then at that point of time, how can I provide the accounting treatment? I have to know, right? Then first I will receive such 4 lakhs from the government. I will pass one journal entry, bank account debtor to government grant account. 4 lakhs, 4 lakhs. Apply the accounting equation, increase in asset should be debited. Government grant, let us assume as an income, increase in income should be created, 4 lakh. Now, I will go to the market, I will buy the machinery. Machinery account debtor, 5 lakhs, to bank, 5 lakhs. Now, I should not transfer such a government grant to P&L account. I will nullify such a government grant with machinery. Why? Because I am getting a capital assistance. Such a government grant cannot be treated as a revenue receipt. Such a government grant should be treated as a capital receipt. That's why it should be cancelled from capital expenditure by passing the entry government grant account debtor to machinery account, 4 lakhs. Now in your books, machinery is showing at how much balance? 5 lakhs minus 4 lakhs means right now machinery is showing at how much balance?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. 1 lakh. That means in further, you have to provide depreciation on such 1 lakh only. Friends, just give me 1 second.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will provide depreciation on such a 1 lakh only. Sir, who told all such accounting treatments to you, sir? Astral. Just I told you a simple example. If government grant received for the purpose of purchase of a machinery, then you should provide accounting treatment like this. Who told sir ante? AS12. That means why AS12 was introduced, sir ante? At the time of receipt of government grant, what is the accounting treatment? Hope you understand. So we are almost at the end of the standards. That is investments and borrowing cost is there. Investment accounts, I don't want to deal right now. Why? Because in category 2, the first chapter is only investment accounts. I will tell at that point of time. Just hold on. Coming to borrowing cost, which is the last standard I'm taking. Okay. AS16, borrowing cost. Can you please tell me, anyone, what is the meaning of borrowing cost? Tell me, yeah. Meaning. I'm not asking anything. What is the meaning of borrowing cost? One person, please give your answers in the chat box. Chat box is in your hand only. Come on, friends, all of you, fire your bullets. What is the meaning of borrowing cost? No, nobody is participating. Is it my voice is audible to all? Just I have doubt that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ishwarika told borrowing money from someone. All are giving answers yes sir, but they are not giving answers for my question. What is the meaning of borrowing cost? Somebody told, Naveen Kumar, interest charged on loans obtained to buy assets. Okay, simply borrowing cost means interest cost, yeah, for on any loan, for purchase of asset, for the purpose of working capital, anything, I don't know. If your entity take loan, then you are incurring interest cost. Will you agree, all of you? Then what is the accounting treatment for such interest cost? Oh my God, sir, we already done n number of times accounting treatment for interest cost in CA Foundation. Simply it should be charged to P&L. Tell me, yaar, am I right or wrong? But why a separate standard was given? Sometimes interest cost charged to P&L. Sometimes interest cost added to the asset. Just I will give one simple example. Building is there. Let us assume a building is there. Okay. Which is a building. Just assume whether it is building or not, I don't know. Okay. Let's assume. Sir, which is a building. Sir, to construct this building, I take a loan from a bank. I took a loan from bank. Now, every month I have to pay EMI. You know, every month I have to pay EMI. In that EMI, interest will be there. Will you agree, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, such a interest cost, can I add it to the cost of building? Can I add it to cost of the building? No. Is my question. It is my question. Can I add it to the cost of building? The answer is yes. The answer is no. Sir, when the answer S will be correct, sir, ante, if such a building is a qualifying asset, then you can add it to the cost of building. If such a building is not a qualifying asset, then you should not add it to the cost of building. Then immediately you may ask one question. What is the meaning of qualifying asset? Qualifying asset is an asset which takes substantial period of time. Substantial period of time. Substantial period.
For its intended use or sale.
Correct. Substantial period means more time. Sir, building will not come. If I give like this, building will not come. It will take some time to construct the building. Sir, I am having the sufficient cash on my pocket, sir, and even though it is not possible, why? Because to build that structure, some time period should be required. So, which we can take a substantial period of time. Then that asset may be a qualifying asset. Then, if the asset is a qualifying asset, then interest cost you can add it to the cost of the building. For example, I can take one more example. Sir, I purchased a vehicle. On that vehicle also I am paying EMI, sir, ante. In that EMI interest is there, sir, ante. Can I add such interest cost to the vehicle, sir, ante? No. Can I add interest cost to the vehicle, sir, ante? No. Why? Because to buy that vehicle, substantial period will not take. We can easily buy by entering into the showroom. That's why which is not a qualifying asset. Which is not a qualifying asset. At that point of time, interest should be charged to P&L. That means basically why borrowing cost standard was inserted. Even though we know the accounting treatment for interest cost in generally, but in which circumstances we can add it to the cost of the asset, in which circumstances we can transfer to the P&L, we will know after reading the each and every provision of accounting standard 16. That means simply why accounting standard was inserted, sir, ante providing accounting treatment. Providing accounting treatment. Providing accounting treatment for borrowing cost. That is, whether such interest cost should be added to the cost of the asset or charged to the P&L. For that reason only AS 16 introduced. Can you please tell me, all of you, did you understand that basic issue why AS 16 was introduced?
Yes, sir.
Right. So almost we covered the entire category number 1 right now. Entire category number 1 right now. Let me take up with category number 2. Just a second. And one more thing before starting with category number 2, please let me know, friends, is it background is okay? It will create any disturbance to you? My background friends, is it okay or is it creating any disturbance?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine, fine. Right. So almost 20 to 30% of syllabus intro over. Now coming to category number 2. So there are 3 special transactions are there. One is investment accounts, another one is insurance claims, and number 3 was hire purchase and installment sale transactions. Now let me take up the first part, which was first part is part number 1 is, tell me, investment accounts. Part number 1 is
Investment account.
correct. So category 2, I am explaining category 2. Under category 2, I am explaining investment accounts. Here in this chapter, we will deal. Tell me, we will deal accounting standard 13 as well. Accounting standard 13 as well. Sir, in accounting standard 13, we will discuss some content. In the chapter investment accounts, we will discuss something. Actually, both are different. The matter of discussion is different. The matter of discussion is different, but both are completely interrelated. That's why I clubbed it. In accounting standard 13, as per AS 13, investments are broadly categorized into 2 types. Investments are broadly categorized into 2 types. One is current investment. Another one is non-current investment. Current investment, non-current investment. Do you know the difference between current investment and non-current investment? I'm not telling anything about investment account, just I am telling, do you know current and non-current? First, do you know what is the meaning of investment? Can you please tell me, anybody, what is the meaning of investment? Investment is asset or liability?
Asset.
Asset, sir.
Asset.
Very good, super. Sir, investment is an asset held by an enterprise. Held by an enterprise with an intention to earning dividend. Yes, sir, if I made investment in equity shares, I will get dividend. If I made investment in debentures, I will get interest. If I made investment in building, I will get rental. Maybe some parties may hold buildings for the purpose of capital appreciation. Capital appreciation means increase in price. Increase in price. Capital appreciation. Most of the persons will investment in gold for the purpose of capital appreciation. For any of these purposes or any other purpose, then such assets is technically known as investment. Yes, agreed. Now, what is the meaning of current investment? What is the meaning of non-current investment? Current investment means we are purchasing right now. We are purchasing right now, but intended to resell. Intended to resell within
1 year.
Exactly, within 12 months. In 12 months. Here, intention to resell after
1 year.
Correct. After 12 months. Exactly. Now, if the investment is a current investment, at which value it should be recorded, sir? Ante, in generally, I'm telling it should be recorded at cost or market value, whichever is lower. If the investment is a non-current investment, which should be recorded as cost only. Cost only. Sir, that means why AS 13 was introduced into your syllabus, sir? Ante, in balance sheet, ultimately you are recording investment under asset side, right? Investment at which value I have to record, sir? Ante, then you have to check whether that investment is a current or whether the investment is a non-current. If the investment is a current, you will record it cost or market value, whichever is lower. For example, cost value of the investment in equity shares 1 lakh. But right now, the market price in the stock exchange, which was quoted at 80,000. Then my intention is want to resell within 12 months. Then at which price you are going to record in balance sheet? 80,000. No, my intention is
80,000.
I don't want to resell within 12 months. I will resell after 12 months. Then at that point of time, I am recording such investment at 1 lakh. To providing such things, AS 13 was introduced. To providing such things, AS 13 was introduced. Sorry, you told matter of discussion related to AS 13 is little bit different from investment accounts chapter. Then in investment accounts chapter, what you are going to discuss, sir? In investment accounts chapter, I will discuss matters related to purchase. What is the accounting treatment at the time of purchase of investment? What is the accounting treatment at the time of sale of investment? Purchase. Purchase, what is the accounting treatment? Sale, what is the accounting treatment? Sir, for knowing the accounting treatment, at the time of purchase and at the time of sale, investments are broadly categorized into two types. One is fixed income bearing securities. Another one is variable income bearing securities. Fixed income, sir, I will receive only fixed income, sir. If you made investment in debentures, you will get fixed income, interest. If you made investment in building, you will get fixed rentals, which are nothing but fixed income bearing securities. Bonds, debentures, if you made investment, you will get fixed amount of the interest. Coming to equity shares, you will get variable income, which is nothing but dividend. That means here the classic example is investment in equity shares. Here the classic example is investment in debentures. Then if it is related to the debentures, investment in debentures, at the time of purchase and sale, what is the accounting treatment? If it is related to investment in equity shares, what is the accounting treatment at the time of purchase and sale? We will discuss in future. So that is the basic difference in between investment accounts chapter and AS 13 investments. Here investments classified as a current and non-current for the purpose of valuation. Here investments are categorized into fixed and variable for the purpose of accounting treatment. Did you understand the difference? No, nobody is talking. Yeah, please let me know. Are you there with me, friends, my dear all?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In chat box, everybody is telling. Okay, fine. Next, let me go with the next chapter. In the category 2. What is the next chapter name? Next chapter name, yaar.
Insurance claims.
Insurance claims. Sir, do you know this chapter is not related to accounting treatment? First point I'm mentioning that this chapter is not at all related to any accounting treatment. This chapter is only related to computation. That is the first point I'm emphasizing. Next. Sir, in generally, you know insurance is how many types? Insurance is how many types? Can you please tell me, anyone? How many types insurance is?
2 types.
If I put 2 symbols, it is 2 types?
No.
Huh?
General insurance, life insurance.
Super. General insurance, life insurance. Who told that one? May I know your name, ma? General insurance and life insurance. One person told, na?
Indra, sir.
Huh?
Indra.
Okay. Indra Sena. Okay. General insurance, life insurance. May I know the difference between general insurance and life insurance? Life insurance is in generally taken on life of persons. Life expectancy. Life of
persons.
Naturally born persons. Life of naturally born persons. Naturally born persons means human beings. Is it, can we take insurance on pet animals as well? I have the doubt, yeah. Can we take
No,
insurance on
sir.
animals?
No, sir.
Why not, yeah? What is no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We can take it on the pet animals. If you just go to that cine industry people, everybody having that pet animals. Okay. Samantha, do you know Samantha? Samantha is having a very good dog. Okay.
Yes,
Almost,
sir.
yes,
Hash.
almost. What is that name?
Hash.
Hash.
The dog name, you are telling?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Oh
Hash
my
at
God.
me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So they definitely took some insurance on that. So why? Because they expanded like anything. And Samantha's dog means it have a lot of reputation as well. What you are thinking? Okay. Definitely they took some insurance as well. Okay. Naveen, I too have dogs, sir. What is your dog name, ma, Naveen? Naveen Sai. Leo. Oh, very good name. Leo. Okay. Super. Actually, we are also previously had one dog. The dog name is John, G-O-H, John. So why I put the dog name as John? That is in my schooling, one faculty is there, like me only, like me. He is always beating me. Okay, whenever the time permits, he will always beat me. Okay, so that's why I'm having a little bit of revenge on him. So I put John, his name. Okay. Every day when I felt bad, I will beat my dog. Okay. So that's why my revenge factors will little bit okay, maybe. So like that, I put that name as John, but right now we are not at all interested. Okay. As you know, in the city life, we are unable to protect as well. Okay. So that's why leave it. So definitely on the life of naturally born person, we will take the life insurance. So in generally on goods, we will take the general insurance. And one more thing I'm telling, the expiry period of the general insurance, the expiry period of the general insurance, maximum 1 year, maximum 1 year. How much maximum? 1 year. But coming to the life insurance is not like that. The life insurance period is in generally more than 1 year. In generally more than 1 year. Here max, this is minimum. That is the difference. Next, one more thing. In case of the life insurance, we can technically known as assurance policy. Assurance policy. Assurance policy means, for example, I took insurance on me for 10 years, let us assume. For 10 years. Sir, within the 10 years, if at any point of time, something happened to me, okay, that is, I kicked the bucket, then who will collect, sir, ante? My family members. My family members. No, sir, I'm very strong. Even after 10 years also, I'm alive, sir, ante. Who will collect, sir, ante? Me only. That means getting the money is mandatory. Getting the money was assured. That's why which is known as assurance policy. Assurance policy. But coming to general insurance, which was termed as indemnity policy. Indemnity. Indemnity policy. Do you know the meaning of indemnity? Indemnity means
Loss.
to that extent of loss. Correct. Exactly. To that extent of loss. For example, sir, I insured entire my goods which were laid in the godown. Something fire accident occurred. So I lost 50% of the goods. Then how much amount of insurance, how much amount you will get from insurance companies are to that extent of my loss only. Okay, I will not get that entire amount, which is nothing but indemnity policy. and which is the difference between indemnity policy and assurance policy. Now, so for knowing the basic things, I am discussed all such things. I'm not discussing anything in this chapter about life insurance. Even though coming to general insurance also, we are not discussing all such policies. We are only discussing fire insurance. So many insurances are there: fire insurance, marine insurance, remaining all other insurances. So many are there, but we are only strictly discussing that fire insurance things. Fire insurance. So the scope is very narrow, and that too in case of fire insurance also. Sir, are you discussing any accounting treatment, sir? And no, I'm not discussing any accounting treatment. If any fire accident occurred, how much amount will be your claim? How much amount will be your claim? That point only I'm discussing. How much amount will be your claim? That means this chapter is introduced only for the purpose of computation of insurance claim, computation of insurance claim at the time of, tell me, yaar, at the time of
Loss of profit and loss of stock.
that is at the time of occurrence of fire accident, right? Occurrence of fire accident. You are correct. At the time of occurrence of fire accident. We will discuss all such things, loss of stock and loss of profits in the chapter. So just the basic discussion. This chapter was only inserted for computation of insurance claim at the time of occurrence of fire accident. So this is the end of discussion related to insurance claims, how we will compute. So what are the methodologies they are followed? What are the conceptual things we will learn there in the chapter? So can you please tell me the last part in category 3? All of you.
Hire purchase.
I purchase.
Some persons in
And-
sleep mode. Please, all of you awake. Some persons are completely in sleep mode. Please awake. Be sit right. So see all the screen. Concentrate. Can you please tell me the third chapter in the category 3?
Hire purchase and
Hire
installment
purchases.
transaction.
Hire purchase and installment is also there, right?
Installment transaction. Yes,
Hire
sir.
purchase is there, installment is there. Now, so I will give one beautiful example for hire purchase, then you can understand everything. For example, your father told, if you qualified CA Inter, then I will buy a bike. For females, okay, your father told, okay, if you qualify, then we will buy a PEP. What they are using in generally females? PEP scooties. What they are using? Right now, even female persons are also using Royal Enfield. That is different story. Okay, in general, you are using that bike. What is that bike name? PEPs only, right?
Vespa, Pepta.
Okay. That model. The name, company name itself is Pepta.
TVS Scooty Pep, sir.
Okay, fine. Whatever the case may be. Yeah. That is, just let me put bike. Let me put, just your father told he will purchase a bike. Okay, let us assume this is a bike. Okay, I'm not a person to draw all such things, friends. Really, it is very difficult task. Please assume this is a bike. Where is the handle, sir? Maybe we can arrange like this. Okay. Maybe this is the handle. Where you will see it, here you will see it, right? You will sit like this. Then you will drive that. Let us assume like that. Okay, this is a bike. Now, you qualified your CA Inter with the flying colors. Make a car, sir. Okay, for CA final, we will plan cars for CA final. Okay, if you are in the CA final, I will plan it as a car. Okay. Now, sir, you qualified your CA Inter with flying colors after seeing your result. Okay, then immediately in your brain, coming to your mind, the thought process is end up with a bike. Papa, Dad, where is my bike? Then your dad satisfied your result. Then you and your dad went to showroom. In showroom, your dad planning to buy that bike, planning to buy that bike by giving some down payment. Maybe let us assume that bike price is 1 lakh. Maybe if he will pay that entire 1 lakh on a single time, then some liquidity crunch is there. So let us pay in number of terms. So that's why I will make it pay as a DP, down payment right now, 20,000. 1 lakh minus 20,000 remaining how much? Tell me, yeah, remaining how
80,000.
much? 80,000.
80,000.
Correct. That remaining 80,000, I will pay in number of terms. I will pay in number of terms. Sir, how many terms you are going to pay, sir? Let us assume I will pay like this. I will pay in five terms. I will pay in 5 terms. Let us assume, just for the time being, I am telling it will be in generally more than 5. It will be running over 2 years, 3 years also. So just I put like 5 terms. Sir, each and every time, how much you are paying, sir? And let us assume 20,000. Sir, if you are paying 16,000, who will pay interest, ma? This 18,000, okay, 16,000 is only for principal, right? So that's why let us assume this 80,000 plus that interest will become one more 20,000. Let us assume total 1 lakh. So 1 lakh divided by 5, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 for 5 installments. Will you agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. Sir, first installment or first term, your father paid. Okay. Every day you are going to your articles office, okay, by using that bike. So you are cleaning that bike like anything. And sometimes your mother also cleaning. How your mother will clean? You know? How your mother will clean? So after washing their bowls and all such stuff, the wastewater will be there, right? They will put into your bikes only. Okay, they will clean like that. There is one movie I saw that Raghuvaran BTech something. Huh? One bike is there, na? What is that
Yes,
bike
sir.
or cycle? Yeah, every time his mother will cleaning with that wastewater only. Okay, that is different story.
Pelican.
Your father paid second term also. Maybe there is, due to some crunch, your father unable to make payment for the third term. Then that finance company waited much time. After that, they come to your home. They took that bike and it was completely take the possession of that bike by the finance agency or finance company. Is it that finance company having that much of right? I'm having doubt. If at any point of time, if you are defaulted that term, that finance company is having that much of right to take the possession?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I am thinking that if I am unable to pay, you can file a suit against me. Why you are touching my bike? If I am unable to pay any amount, you can file a suit in the court. I am ready to pay damages. But why did you touch my bike? That is my question. Then he will tell, bro, chill. I understood. That is your bike. You are saying your bike is like your wife. I understood. But bro, chill. What happened at the time of purchase of your bike, which was not a real purchase, which was a higher purchase. In case of a higher purchase, what will happen? You know, ownership will not transfer at the time of initial purchase. Ownership will be really transferred after the making payment of the last installment.
Last installment.
After the making payment of last installment. That means in case of the higher purchase, ownership will not transfer at the initial time of purchase unless otherwise if you paid all the installments, then only ownership will be transferred from vendor or seller to purchaser. Then my next doubt, sir, if you are not the owner, why you are discussing about accounting treatment, sir? If you are not the owner, you should not record such asset into your books of accounts, right? Tell me, friends. If you are not the owner of that specific asset, you should not record such asset into your books of accounts.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
agreed. Yes, agreed. But in our accounting, one beautiful concept is there, which was substance. Which was substance.
Substantial overform.
Substance over form. Substance over form. The concept name is substance over form. So substance over form means give importance to the substance. Substance means actually what is happening. Give importance to what is happening. Over form, ignore the formality, ignore the legal formality for the time being. My dear, please ignore the legal formality for the accounting treatment. Even though you are not become the legal owner, give importance to the actually what is happening. Sir, possession is in my hands. I made a down payment. I am only utilizing that asset means by applying the concept of substance over form concept, you can record that specific asset into your books of accounts. That is the meaning of substance over form concept. Then immediately I will have one more doubt. Who can claim depreciation? Who can claim depreciation? Me or that bike company? Hire purchaser, purchaser or seller, vendor? Who can claim depreciation? Can you please tell me? Sir, if you are recording that specific asset into your books of accounts by applying the substance over form concept for the purpose of financial accounting, who can claim depreciation, sir? And again, purchaser. Again, purchaser. Vendor or seller should not have any right to claim depreciation. Why? Because by applying the substance over form concept, I am recording that asset into my books of accounts. That's why I will only claim the depreciation. But for income tax act, it is different. For income tax, also you are claiming the depreciation. Income tax, as I'm only talking about the financial accounting right now, for income tax, who can claim depreciation, sir? And there is a provision in section 32 of Income Tax Act. Who can claim the depreciation, sir? And legal owner. Legal owner. Who is the legal owner in this case? In that company, bike company. So coming to the income tax, bike owner can claim the depreciation, but coming to the financial accounting, hire purchaser can claim the depreciation. For all such things, at the time of purchase, what is the accounting treatment? Sir, if I am unable to make payments, that is default in terms or default in installments, what is the accounting treatment? That is technically known as repossession of goods. Possession. Repossession. Again, the bike company is taking the possession back. That is nothing but repossession. At the time of repossession, what is the accounting treatment? We are going to discuss at the time of dealing hire purchase, which is the third chapter in the category 2. Then one more thing here, installment is there, right? Almost there is no change in accounting treatment. There is no change in accounting treatment, but conceptually both are different. No change in accounting treatment, but conceptually both are different. How conceptually both are different, sir? In case of installment transaction, ownership transferred. Ownership transferred at the time of entering into the transaction itself. At the time of entering into transaction. At the time of entering into transaction. So that's why in generally sellers are unable to entering into transactions on installment basis. So how I can demonstrate the installment system? So let me give an example. So if you are residing in villages, sometimes some electronic goods like mixies, cookers, or fridges, something very small things only, not big things. Just they are offering to the farmers. They are collecting each and every week. They are collecting each and every week. Sometimes utensils will also happen, that steel items. So I saw exactly in my village at the time of residing in the village. I saw that thing. So they will give that item to directly hand over to that farmer or that family. They will collect the money for each and every week. At any point of time, if at any week the other party is unable to pay that amount, he cannot have any right to collect that. If he collect it, he will not come to the village once again. Okay, so then what they will do, they will request the people, okay, so this week also you're not paid, ma, can you please pay it at least for the next week? Like that they will request. Why? Because that was an installment system. There is no specific agreement as well at that point of time, so which all happening in the informal way. So in case of the installment system, ownership was transferred at the time of entering into the transaction itself, but at any point of time, if purchaser make default in installments, then seller have a right to file a suit, but he cannot repossess. So except repossession, accounting treatment is same. Here also two parties are there, purchaser, seller. Who will record sir and purchaser only? Who can claim the depreciation sir and purchaser only? But there is only no repossession concept, except that there is no difference between hire purchase and installments. That's why both are clubbed into one chapter. So we are dealing problems without having any differentiation in between hire purchase and installment. But repossession came, which is not an installment, which is only hire purchase. Will you agree? No sound. Silent in the classroom.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
So,
Sir, we are almost at the end of category 2, friends. Hope I discussed category 2 in detail in this diagrammatic representation. Category 2. Then two more categories are there, which was category 3 and category 4. Actually, my class is there up to 10 o'clock, but today just I want to leave the session early. Just I want to close the session by 9:30. I'm engaged with some other works. So probably we will meet by, please be all on the line. So I will give here some inputs to you. Probably I will meet by 16th. As on 16th, we are not having early morning session. We may have evening session on 16th. The plan is I'm traveling to Tirupati along with family. Okay, so that's why I will not be there in my home city Hyderabad for at least for 3 to 4 days. I'll be back by that 16th evening. I will take up that class. Okay. Meanwhile, what you will do, sir? Meanwhile, what you will do? Please, all of you, equipped with your material, and persons who are related to regular batch, Harshas are already sent the tabs. So they already booked in the Amazon. So they may reach your home as well on meanwhile. So please install our application and access all such things. And still, if any persons are not having their notebooks, please put your notebooks. And meanwhile, entire soft copies will be sent by the Shrestha team. So please download that soft copies also. If time permitted for you, please take it as a hard copy. So I am not providing any theory in my copies. I'm not providing any theoretical things. That is only purely related to the question bank. Sir, why you are not giving any theoretical aspects in my material, sir? I will dictate entire theory in my notes. I will share it to the screen or any other things. Right now we are seeing, sir, I'm spending enough time to give the rough sketch itself. If I'm entering into the classroom environment in that specific chapter, I will give a clear-cut theoretical notes. That is more than sufficient for the examination. Don't read any other aspects. I will give conceptual things 100%. Then you can do that entire questions and all such things only from the Shrestha material. That is more than enough. It is my assurance, friends, if you are attending the class from first day to till the last day without missing any single session related to accounting, definitely you will get an exemption. That is not a big deal at all. Why? Because in the entire classroom environment itself, I will provide the in-depth conceptual knowledge, and the practice will also over. Some persons may bother, sir, we are having attempt only in the month of May, in the month of June. Don't bother about that. This time, definitely examinations are going to conduct only in the month of June. Maybe it may goes to the June end as well. Why? Because in cycle 2, some persons, they already wrote their examinations. Till now, those results were not at all issued by the ICAI. Such results may be issued in the first or mid of the March or in the last week of the March as well. If such results are coming in the mid of the March, then they can prepare all such examination. So definitely this time we can assure you the examination are going to happen in the mid of the June. You can simply concentrate on the entire subject. Don't rush it. Don't bother about it. So please follow the sessions for all the faculties in the as usual manner. You will get all the insights from our Shrestha faculty. Okay, so that is the end of the session. If you're having any doubt, please let me know before closing. So can I take anything from Tirupati for you all?
Laddu, sir.
Laddu, sir.
Tirupati Laddu, I can show it, but how can I send it to you? I can show it here, but I cannot send it to you, right? What can I do? Okay. I will take Laddu anyway. Okay. If possible, if time permits for me, okay, I will do one thing. If Harsha sir is not sending that before to you, that material or some other stuff, at least for regular batch students, I will plan. I will send Laddu as well. If he is not sending, if you already sent, I don't know. What can I do? I didn't make anything. Okay. So anyway, bye bye friends. See you. I will chill for the forthcoming 3 to 4 days. Just I want to enjoy. Be happy. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Yes, sir. Take
Bye.
care, sir.
Happy
Bye,
Happy
ma'am.
journey, sir.
Thank you,
Happy
ma'am.
journey, sir.
Happy
Thank
journey,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Happy journey, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye, ma'am. Bye.